we also are working very closely with the Israelis to persuade them to open the crossings, let more essential goods in. So I take very seriously the challenge, and we are working hard to try to meet it. And again, I welcome your advice of any ideas you might have as to what we could do. Thank you. Thank you. Yes?
Secretary Clinton, Rob Warren, from the former FSO. We greatly appreciate you coming and speaking to us today. We admire your leadership. I'd like to ask you about Afghanistan and Pakistan. It seems to be one of the most critical areas and one of the greatest challenges for the department. How do you see us carrying out the strategy that the administration has outlined, and what role will the department be playing?
Great question. You know, we had an intensive strategic review starting slightly before the president was inaugurated. It was chaired by Bruce Rydell, as some of you may know, a former CIA analyst, and co-chaired by Richard Holbrooke, who is our special representative for Afghanistan and Pakistan, and Michelle Flournoy, who is the deputy or undersecretary at the Pentagon for planning. So we started from the beginning with a kind of all hands, whole government approach. You know, the bottom line is that we need to learn from the lessons that were painfully taught us in Iraq. We need to better integrate our military and civilian assets and approach. In Afghanistan, we actually have quite a bit of support from the international community, both in terms of military and civilian personnel and in contributions. And in Pakistan, it's a very difficult environment because of the confusion among the civilian and military leadership about how to prioritize what is the greatest threat to Pakistan going forward. We will have this week our second trilateral. President Karzai will be coming from Afghanistan with leaders of his government. President Zardari will be coming with leaders of his government. They will meet, we've had one of these already, which we thought was quite helpful in beginning to change mindsets and frankly set forth some requirements about what we expect from these governments. And we hope that this will do the same. The president will meet with both of his counterparts, and we'll have some very intense sessions on the specifics of what we're trying to accomplish. We think that there are a number of important missions in Afghanistan, but we can only do a few, and we have to count on our allies and partners to do others. Obviously, we're taking the lead on security and stability operations, on the training of the Afghan National Army and police, on a project to try to stimulate agricultural productivity again. I mean, it's heartbreaking to look back and see that Afghanistan was sort of the garden of Central Asia. Had lots of orchards, great production of fruits like pomegranates. And I think there's a lot of potential there if we are smart about how we do it. So we are recruiting, as Jeff Liu was saying, certainly within the State Department family, but also within USDA and other parts of our government to get the expertise that we need, but all under a State Department lead with the special representative and the team here. That's our goal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Alice Labrie. I'm former, what is now known as management specialist, but in those days it was Foreign Service Secretary. I came into service with a background as a television producer, and I was always saying, you guys don't toot your horns enough. You're just too reticent. So I'd like to say that at present I am a weekend green room coordinator at Good Morning America, and I tried to haul our executive producer in here today, but it's sweeps week, so he couldn't leave his job. But I will continue to nudge them as I have been for the last 3 years. I would very much like them to do a segment and a piece, of course, on the Department of State. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think you make a very important point. I don't know if it's so much tooting our own horn as telling our story, and doing it in a way that people actually will listen and feel that they can connect and relate to it. So yes, I think we have a lot of work to do. And certainly within our own country, we need to do a better job of explaining what we do and who we are, and what a paltry investment we make. I think 6% of our national security budget goes to state and USAID. So we have a lot of room for growth in trying to make the case. But I think you're right that we need to do a better job both internally and internationally in telling our story. Yes, sir.
My name is Gil Scheinbaum, and I am a retired Foreign Service officer. Did political, economic, administrative work, etc. I never worked for the U.S. Information Agency, but I'm a great supporter of what we should be doing in the field of public diplomacy, to which you would refer, as had the previous person. We have, since the demise of USIA in 1999, we have had a very erratic leadership in the field of public diplomacy. I fear that many of us here in this room perhaps do not fully appreciate the value of public diplomacy. We had a lot of very competent people in that field whom I've known over the years, and I think we have to go back to emphasize that. I don't think we'll ever see, at least in our term, the recreation of USIA or something like that, but I think that field has to be emphasized, because as you said, we have to get the word out to everybody, not just what we are, but what we can do out in the hinterlands as well as in the capitals. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you very much, and I could not agree more. The President has nominated for the Undersecretary for Public Diplomacy someone who not only has a great deal of experience in telling stories and communicating effectively around the world, but also someone who happens to be the daughter of a Foreign Service officer. So her name is Judith McHale. She was one of the founders and creators of the Discovery Channel. And she has an understanding of the story that has to be told. I could not agree more with you that USIA and other related public education mechanisms were very unfortunately marginalized. They are moving across the street. We're getting them closer. We're getting them, close enough that I can see them from my window. And we intend to do a lot of work on this. I have done a number of Voice of America interviews. I've answered questions that were sent in from Afghanistan and elsewhere. I'm going to do a lot of that as well. And the President is more than willing to participate. So we're going to give it a new approach and see if we can't make a difference.